My next guest is an award-winning filmmaker with a career spanning more than 2 decades. He graduated from the University of Nsukka with a degree in theatre arts in 1990, after which he went on to study law in the University of Wolverhampton, where he graduated in 1998. He also completed a postgraduate degree in legal practice from London Metropolitan University in 2002. He is a member of the UK Directors Guild as well as the British Film Institute. A few of his films include The Mirror Boy, Last Flight to Abuja, Badamasi, Portrait of a General, and Blackmail. He's here to give us insight into his mind, along with sharing a bit of his vast wisdom and experience.
Wisdom? Wisdom? I don't have wisdom.
If you don't have wisdom, then we're in trouble. If you don't have wisdom, then who has wisdom in this country? Mr. Obi Emelonye, thank you very much for coming.
My pleasure.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, take us back to the beginning. What was, your childhood like?
My childhood was great. It didn't start very well. I was born just before the start of the Civil War in 1967. So I was 3 months old when the war started, and
Wow.
my family moved from Port Harcourt, where I was born, to the village as part of the Osara, which is the running for your life in a war.
Yeah.
So the first 3 years of my life was abject poverty, need, strife, death, and all sorts of challenging situations. But I'm a survivor. I survived. I survived the war. Many of my mates did not. So after that very inauspicious start, anything that happened was
a bonus.
Was a bonus. So I had the support of a very large, very academically inclined family, and I went around the block a little bit, but eventually I found my calling, and since then I am happier, more contented, more fulfilled, and I have something that most people would not have in their lifetime, which is fulfillment.
When you talk about fulfillment, because usually it's like one or two things with people. It's either they find out one thing and then they stick to it, or for some people it takes them a lot of trial and error, keeping on to find things, and drop them and find and drop until they actually find what is right for them. Which one of those are you?
In my case, I took the scenic route. I took the long journey. So like you read in my introduction, I studied theatre arts at University of Nigeria Nsukka at a time when there was no career at the end of it. And then I went and played football for Rangers International Enugu and Julius Berger of Lagos before I went to the UK in the aim of playing football, because I was okay. I had skills. Anyway, so that was the plan, to go to the UK, play football, make quick money, and relax into some kind of ex-footballer retirement. But the plan wasn't working because I did not lie about my age, as most Nigerian players would do. So I discovered that it wasn't going to be a long career based on my real age. So I said, you know what? I tried to practice theatre arts in the UK and discovered that it was a lot of work without commensurate level of reward. So I decided, you know what? I needed a career that had transferable skills. I needed something that I could use at the moment to propel myself into some kind of comfort, so that when eventually I knew my life was going to be a creative life. That was for sure. So it was about where in the creative industry that I fit into. So while I was trying to find myself, which is a long journey for most people, for me it was definitely a long one. While I was trying to find myself, I needed a career that would give me a certain quality of life from which to spring to become who I want to be. And I felt law was it. It had transferable skills. The status as a lawyer would be something that you can carry into anything that you do in whatever sphere of life it is. And my twin brother was also a lawyer, so that was part of the draw. So I studied law, practiced law for a while. As I was doing that, I was beginning to discover filmmaking, because Nollywood was beginning to evolve as an industry. I saw people making films. Some of my classmates were involved in the industry, and I knew my level of talent vis-a-vis theirs. So I felt, okay, this is something I could do. I'm in a place where I had the advantage of technology and training of the type that they don't have. So I started teaching myself, growing gradually, till I shot my first film in 1999, then came back to Nigeria and joined the industry in 2000. And they had me for dinner. Everybody that I dealt with, all the marketers that time, the only thing that was remaining was my big head when I went back to London. so that was the journey, and eventually I discovered that this is something that I want to do. This is something that I have a calling for. It doesn't come easy. You have to make sacrifices. You have to do your youth service, as they say. But eventually, when you've done all of that, and you are on a straight road, it becomes easier. And I think that's where I am. It's a little bit of a slope, and I can, put the car in auto drive and relax, and that's what I'm doing.